When there's real global news in any other topic, you get like a whole newsroom. This is what you get in metal detecting. Welcome to my classroom, and I've got a nice little room in the back. I've got some metal detecting news. I'm so busy here, but we've got some big metal detecting news to report. So we're gonna camp out right here, and I'm gonna tell you. Anywho, here is the news. We figured out the XTerra Pro and the purpose. It is a simplex killer. Yeah, the price point is $269, which is right in line with the Nokta Makro Simplex's price point. So let's take a look at this. The specs are in serious detecting, and XTerra Pro, fully waterproof, fully loaded treasure detector. It doesn't mention what frequencies, but it has switchable frequency technology. Now, the Simplex operates in the Goldilocks zone. In other words, I think it's 15 kilohertz. Goldilocks zone? What is that? Now, if you're new to metal detecting, you might be asking, why is frequency important? And I just mentioned the Goldilocks type metal detectors that operate at one frequency and are meant to cover everything. Now, low frequency have longer wavelengths, gets greater depth. Long waves penetrate the ground more easily. Better for detecting high conductivity targets like silver. Not good for finding smaller targets. Not good for low conductivity targets like gold or iron. And high frequency, high kilohertz, have shorter wavelengths. Great for detecting small objects like tiny gold nuggets. Better for low conductivity targets like gold and iron. Less depth is achieved than low frequency. Higher accuracy closer to the surface. More sensitive to ground mineralization interference. I hate to make this comparison because Delek is saying that Minelab is doing some really questionable stuff. But this detector is starting to remind me of the Nokta Makro Amphibio multi. Well, here we go. I'm on the Minelab site now, and the frequencies are 5, 10, 15. Beach, it is at 8. Now, looking through the specs, the Amphibio had everything. It was one at a time, one frequency at a time. But man, you could configure everything else. And it seems that this is a little bit short of the possibilities of that. At a glance, this one even has a flashlight, which was Nokta's calling card with the Simplex and later on the Legend. But this is impressive for the price point.
Today, we have some Simplex news to share with you.
That's the other breaking news. There's going to be 3 new Simplexes.
Currently, there's a lot of unfair practices going on in this industry, and many people are aware of it. Yet, people will not speak up, simply because either their earnings are at stake or they're simply afraid. But as Nokta, we're not, and we're going to speak up on behalf of our company, and more importantly, the valued end users of this industry.
I'm giving you the edited version of this speech, but I'm going to link to the entire version down in the video description.
As you know, Nokta has been growing very fast in this industry for the past few years. As some people refer to us only a few years ago as the new kid on the block, today became one of the leading manufacturers in this industry. And our competitors who looked down on us and who said, what? Nokta who? When our name was mentioned, today are releasing a product to compete with our best-selling product in many countries around the world, to compete with us and basically eating their own words.
Minelab was quoted as saying that they'll never make a non-simultaneous multi-frequency machine again, in the treasure market at least, and the Simplex came out, and the Simplex has been a huge success. I've recommended it for the beginner detector, somebody who's just getting into the hobby but wants a machine that is high-end. Really, the Simplex has met that. But the thing is, the XTerra Pro has several frequencies that you can switch to. And the question is, does that one up? Does that perform better than the Simplex? Does it give the user more possibilities?
Minelab, our dear competitor, when they released the Equinox 5-6 years ago, they said that their multi-IQ technology would obsolete all the single frequency detectors out there. So basically, by making this bold claim, they decided, as a manufacturer, they decided on behalf of all the consumers around the world and ignored what they wanted, but gave them what they wanted. They even made a lot of videos to promote and push the multi-IQ technology, even taking shots at their competitor that they were targeting at that time, which was Garrett. Meanwhile, Nokta was taking firm steps forward in this industry to be a leading player. When Minelab was raving and trying to claim that multi-IQ was the only solution to all the problems the detectorists were having in this industry, we, Nokta, insisted on one thing: there is no perfect detector, period. Single frequency has its own advantages, and so does multi-frequency. Minelab also assured all their distributors, their dealers, and their consumers that they would never come out with another detector that didn't have multi-IQ. Oops, what did they release here today, guys? The XTerra Pro, a single frequency detector.
It's getting really nasty between Minelab and Nokta right now.
Now, some of you will say, oh, it has switchable frequencies. Doesn't matter. It runs on one single frequency. And the fancy names that they come up with, such as switchable frequency technology, is just another marketing gimmick that is insulting the intelligence of the end users of this industry.
She's phenomenal. I'm a huge fan. I respectfully disagree right there. Bringing this switchable multi-frequency, which, if you think about it, the Deus 1 was just that. I'm not saying that this is going to be as good as a Deus 1, but look at the price point, $270. That's kind of a big deal.
Because the switchable frequencies has been on our many detectors, like the Cruiser, like the Amphibio, which are no longer in production. So there is no technology there. It's just old news.
A lot of people consider it best practice on an Equinox to double check a target in one of the single frequency modes. And the debate is still there whether a user is better off. A user will do better if they have a finely tuned one frequency detector or a simultaneous multi-frequency detector. Many would argue that the single frequency would be better. Let me elaborate on that a little bit further. Simultaneous multi-frequency, what the Equinox did so well is separate and get a wide variety of targets all in one shot, and everybody else has been scrambling to keep up with that detector. Beat, exceed, that's very tough.
Now, we are actually all witnessing something really important here. It's really nice to see our competitor, Minelab, who claims to be the only technology company in this industry, who visits distributors and intimidates them not to sell Nokta.
That's a big claim right there.
Who turns their back on their dealers, who've been supporting them and growing their brand and sales, who is suing their own distributor in the United States because they're selling Nokta, who sued our Chinese distributor in China and who lost the case, and who is also suing us again to unjustly strong-arm a competitor.
The rollout of the Manticore has been extremely slow. Could something like this play into it? I don't know.
And it's nice to see now them admitting 5-6 years later, after the release of Equinox, to realize that their multi-IQ was not the solution to all the problems the detectors were having, and releasing a product to compete with the best-selling product in many countries around the world, which is the Simplex.
Word spread fast that the best intro detector for somebody brand new to metal detecting was the Simplex. Minelab is going after that right now with the XTerra Pro.
Dear Minelab, we want competition. You may want to be a monopoly in this industry, but guess what? The end users don't want that. The end users do not need that. They don't need a monopoly because they need options. And as Nokta, as long as we exist, we will make sure that we offer alternatives to these overpriced detectors as long as we exist. Nokta now is starting a perception campaign. Price is what you pay, guys, but value is what you get. Just because a detector costs $1,600, that doesn't mean you're getting a lot more performance or you're finding a lot more finds.
What she's getting at is that the Legend is a peer to the Manticore, the Equinox, and the Deus 2, and I agree.
Is the fact that these detectors at $1,600 are not performing a lot more or finding a lot more than the Legend. And here's an open invitation to everybody here and to everybody who's listening to me right now. Come challenge the Legend, but with our team. We don't want any fanboys making videos, okay? Come with your simultaneous multi-frequency detector, whatever it is, whether it's the Manticore, whether it's the Deus 2, whether it's the Equinox, doesn't matter. Come challenge us with my field team, out on the field, no test beds, on a live gig, and let's compare 100 signals together. And I can tell you with 100% confidence that the chances that one of those detectors is going to hit and the other one is going to miss completely is almost non-existent.
I stumped the Legend once. I have it documented on video, but she's right. For the most part, it matches the performance of the top-end detectors.
This is all I wanted to share, and now we're going to show you the new Simplex new generation series. As you know, guys, Simplex today is still unrivaled.
Okay, she didn't have to phrase it like that. Nobody's perfect when they're up on the stage, but as you know, come on, that's no.
And now we are going to be offering a new generation of Simplex, which has been advanced in many ways. First, the ergonomics, the weight. The current Simplex, guys, weighs around 1,450 grams, around 1.4 kilos. Now, the new generation Simplex based on the model you choose, if you go with the highest one, which is all carbon fiber shaft, which will change the system box, and the armrest weighs 1,180 grams only.
You have a lighter Simplex.
So this is a huge difference between the current Simplex and the new generation Simplex. Now, what will be the differences between these detectors? The first one is called the Simplex Lite. The second one, the mid one, is called the Simplex BT, standing for Bluetooth. And the top one is called the Simplex Ultra. The Simplex Lite will be the cheapest model that we're going to be offering to customers who want a very easy to use machine and who do not care about wireless, using a wireless headphone. So this will not have any Bluetooth capability, yet it will have the performance of the Simplex. It's going to have a few modes and the basic settings to it, and it's going to come with the regular shaft of the current Simplex. One thing I have to mention though, the coils you're looking at right now, the shape on these coils will be changing. They were not ready for this show, so I couldn't bring them over, but the new generation Simplex coils will look different than these. All these detectors have been updated to 15 kilohertz from 12 kilohertz.
Single frequency, not adjustable.
And 15 kilohertz will be on all of them, which is the best frequency for all-round detecting. Now, this second one, the Simplex BT, will be replacing in the future the current Simplex Plus. This one now is going to work with Bluetooth. No more 2.4 gigahertz wireless, but we switched to Bluetooth. This is also 15 kilohertz. This has got the modes of the current Simplex and the settings of the current Simplex, with a difference of maybe a setting or two. So when you want to compare the current Simplex Plus, this is the model you want to compare it. So now, once we go to the Simplex Ultra, now this unit has got a lot more modes and it's got a lot of more settings that these Simplex users have been requesting from us. You know, such as your recovery speed, such as your, tone settings. So this is all in the Simplex Ultra now, and this unit will also come, the Ultra one will also come with the Bluetooth headphones in the package. So as you can see, we have made major improvements on the current Simplex. It was unrivaled. Now the best just got better. Hardware, software, mechanical, ergonomics, weight, everything has been changed in the Simplex.
The link to her entire press conference is going to be in the video description, but this is going to be interesting how this plays out. How do people really feel about single frequency versus multi-frequency, even if it is adjustable multi-frequency? Same price point, but you get multiple frequencies versus all of the stuff that the Simplex brings. As this gets further closer to its release date, we'll take a comparison, because this is really where people are starting their metal detecting journey now. So many have started with the Simplex. But Minelab, that's, arguably the number one player in this game right now. So they just made a big move that at first I didn't understand. I thought that they were pricing it at a much higher price point. I totally get this move now. Thanks for watching, everybody.